If there are two guys who I'm sick and tired of walking on this green earth and ruining wrestling, that's Triple H and Nick Khan. These guys knew that there were a risk that was going on. There weren't any numbers, nobody's tuning in. They knew they had to sell the company to Saudi Arabia. Now, I understand it's business. You gotta make money. Business is business, right? I even knew that Vince McMahon would have had a WrestleMania in Saudi Arabia. Trust me, like it would have been no surprise if Vince McMahon had some WrestleMania in Saudi Arabia. You feel me? Triple H, I think Triple H made this decision because there's nothing else for them to do. They're at the final nail of the coffin, right? They're at the final nail where their company might be gone. They're going to be removed of all these TV shows, and wrestling's just going to be out of company. All we're going to have is what, TNA and AEW. You feel me? So here's the problem, right? We don't know who the hell Nick Khan is, right? Well, now we know who he is. Everybody knows he was an attendant. He worked at the Audience Stadium at WrestleMania 9, right? He made what, like $100 a day doing that stuff, right? So he came from nothing. He was struggling, he came from nothing, right? And now he's okay with TKO pricing these people thousands and thousands of dollars of ticket prices. And the ticket prices are the big issue. Why the fuck do we have to fucking pay $10,000 to see John Cena versus, I don't know, Gunther? And don't be surprised if John Cena versus Gunther happens. Well, that WrestleMania 42 promotional poster didn't have Gunther's feet. That was Brock Lesnar, Roman Reigns, and CM Punk. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the rumor match between John Cena versus Gunther. The IWC and the community hypes up the wrong shit, comes up with the most stupid predictions. And Triple H has to take those predictions and ideas from Reddit and everywhere and go with it. Now, if it's not him, it might have been TKO. Because you guys know that TKO is a corporate business now. It's all corporate. Wrestling has been a tech company for a long time. Technology company for a very long time, right? And it's funny how I'm realizing all that shit at 24, that it's a technology company. I know it's just a wrestling business company, And I knew they were dealing with technology, devices, and shit like that. But damn, you know what I'm saying? But here's the problem, right? They're all corporate nowadays. They don't care about storytelling. They just want to promote food. They want to promote drinks and whatchamacallit. They want to promote what the hell they promoting? Fireball, liquor, and come on, man. Nobody cares about that stuff. Nobody cares about Fireball, liquor, or fucking whatchamacallit, Wingstop. Okay? But they want to do that because it's a corporate business, and it's a corporate business. I can't even get mad no more, right? Because it's just a corporate business. It's that somebody needs to say, yo, look, this is wrestling. What happened to promoting wrestling? What happened to promoting highlights from last week? What happened to just going to 1 minute commercials and going back? Maybe 20-second commercials. You feel me? Back then, they'll have the fucking food commercials and they'll have the wrestling commercials. Something like that, right? They'll even have the old wrestling commercials. Then we'll get back to the commercials, right? So, like, I'm talking about back in the 2000s and 90s, right? I wish we could go back to that. It's not that hard, right? But TKO's too corporate to where they want to charge us $10,000. Can you imagine you working 9 to 5, right? 50 hours a week. You got kids that want to watch wrestling, right? You make, let's say, like, I don't know, $600, right? Because you get paid $10 an hour, right? People say we get paid $17, $18 an hour. In reality, we're getting paid $9, $10 because that's after tax. Most of these states have state tax. New York State is taxed like a motherfucker. So, one thing here, I'm not going to fucking pay $10,000 for a wrestling ticket. You feel me? Does Nick Khan or Triple H step up to say, hey, look, do you understand people work 9 to 5? Most of these people don't make money like us. Do you think they're going to pay $10,000 just to go see a 5-match card or this idea I have for CM Punk and Jey Uso? You know what I'm saying? And Jey Uso, I don't know why he's in the world title picture. Because he sells merchandise and he makes people dance and shit. So he's the most top selling merchandise wrestler, right? Whatever the fuck. So with them being corporate, they're going to say, hey, he's making us money, let's book him. So anybody who's making the most money for this company is going to be pushed. And that's sick because Jey Uso sucks ass. And I don't think nobody understands that. Like I said, if you're a new wrestling fan, if you're about, let's say, 14, 12, or 16, I can't even get mad at you. I can't even get mad, because you guys were born, like, what, 2010? I caught this shit in 2012, right? So, I mean, I caught the last good years of wrestling, in my opinion. I don't care what nobody say. You know what I'm saying? Like, what happened? Like, dude, it would have been a lot better. This is what I think would happen, right? If they could reduce these ticket prices, right? And for SmackDown, they can't even sell the ticket prices. Now they can't sell these ticket prices because they're fucking overpricing us. So now they said the ticket prices are going to be, what, $50, $60. Great job, Triple H. I keep trying to tell you guys, these ticket prices are too much. What are they trying to charge you guys? What, like $1,000, $3,000 for them tickets? I just saw them. They said they're like $6,000 for them shits. If I'm even correct. Feel me? They can't even sell arenas no more. They can't even sell out no arena because of these prices. And that's a big problem. TKO don't care. They don't really give a shit. You feel me? So I heard for WrestleMania 42, they're going to be selling tickets for about $60,000 or $70,000 max. And that's crazy, yo. That's crazy shit. Or I think it was 63, 64,000. Now that's crazy. Who the hell is going to pay that shit, right? Who the hell is going to pay for that shit, right? Do you think anybody's going to have enough money after they buy a $60,000 ticket? It doesn't matter if they have enough. I would suggest for everybody to save their money, save a couple $100. They have AI stocks. You can invest in AI. They have some stocks available where they have good price. They have a good moderate buys, right? They're good. They're legit. I just started investing in that shit. So I suggest people try that out instead of just buying $10,000 tickets. Now, if you're rich, if you're worth a $10,000 or $20,000 a month, go ahead. Go buy a ticket. You can be my guest and do whatever you want. But these arena food prices, think about that shit, right? And of course, the state, that's their laws. They control that shit. WWE, TKO can't. But why don't TKO at least reduce them shits? Go back to the $50, $60 tickets like you're doing for SmackDown. Now, that'll be a lot better. Can you imagine if somebody purchased $50 a ticket? Like, really, for three family members, you got a single mother or father, and you got 2 children. Dude, that's like $150 total max. Literally. Me and my brother had to pay $114 for a ticket for this show he went to in March, right? And it's crazy, but worth it, because why the hell would I want to pay $300 for a fucking lower seat up in the arena? You feel me? Instead, I could just pay $100 ticket in the middle of the fucking arena. You feel me? So here's the problem, right? That is a big problem for WWE. And Triple H and Nick Khan are a bunch of pussy boys, right? They're not stepping up and know what's best for business. They don't understand that, right? Because they're fucking scared. You know what I'm saying? They're scared they might lose their jobs. I think they're scared that they're going to lose their jobs and this and that. I'm sure Triple H knows better. You feel me? I'm sure he knows better. I just think Stephanie might have some stupid choices and decisions she's telling her husband, right? Because her father's not in business. She might have thought, like, oh, my daddy's trying to control me. Well, your father's a vision. You feel me? Vince McMahon is the vision. He understood, yo, if I'm going to draw $5 million in this 1 week, right? They got to come back for next week. Like, for example, Linda McMahon got tombstoned by Kane. Y'all remember when Kane tombstoned Linda? The crazy motherfucking lunatic Kane? Remember that? And then next week, Vince McMahon came out and he said, I'm proud of you, Kane. Shane McMahon came out to defend his mother. Now, that's some shit right there. Because, like, yo, what's going to happen next week? Vince McMahon understood, yo, if I'm going to make this happen, they have to tune in next week. They're not doing that no more because they're too corporate up their asses that they just want to make billions and billions of dollars and rob you people. They are trying to rob us. They ain't robbing me. I'm going to call them out because I hate when people do this shit, right? You're a business, right? And when you have a business, you got to make sure your people are situated. You got to make sure your fans are, you know what I'm saying, they watch the show, they enjoy the show, they can afford these stuff. You don't want your fans struggling. Like, I feel bad for some of y'all. I really feel bad for some of y'all because that's a big problem for WWE. These high-ass ticket prices, right? And that little $3 billion debit situation, I heard that they paid $2 billion out of it, right? Now, if that's true, I'm surprised. I'm very surprised they paid that. Feel me? If it's true, then yeah. I think WWE needs to make a big decision and reduce these ticket prices. Can you imagine that? You work a job and you got two kids who want to see wrestling. You can barely afford your rent. And you know what I'm saying? The ticket prices are high as hell. That's crazy. Now that was me. I would say, yo, look, man. Do you think these people are gonna keep paying $10,000, $2,000 to go see John Cena versus Gunther to go see wrestling? No, we need to reduce this shit, and I don't care what it takes. If it's gonna cost me money to reduce it, fuck it. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is. But all I know is this: a rule would be situated that the fans are situated and they don't have to go broke out their fucking pockets. That's a big problem for most companies and businesses. That's why most people don't care about car insurance. That's why people invest in their money and shit like that. You feel me? The WWE needs to understand that there's a lot of things going on in society. We got to pay car insurance. We got to pay rent. Do you think we're going to spend $10,000 for a ticket? They better make a decision. And this is how I feel. This is my opinion. The ticket price thing is really ruining wrestling. They need to step up and say, yo, look, if we don't reduce these ticket prices, nobody's going to show up. Nobody's going to show up. We're going to have about 5 or 10 people showing up at this point. Like, literally.